So, me and two of my friends decided to go camping in southern New York up on an undisclosed mountain. There's a dirt road that runs right down the mountain, and then off of it are a lot of smaller off-road tracks that have some good camping spots. Now, I don't know if we're really supposed to be camping there or not, but there are a lot of fire pits, and people do anyway. Anyway, we set up our tent and get a fire going, have a couple beers, and start shooting the breeze. And the sun starts to go down. We all look at each other because the woods got real quiet. You couldn't even hear the crickets. Everything just went dead quiet. It felt like there was a lightning storm coming because you could feel the static in the air and all the hair on the back of my neck stood up. Jamie started to say he felt like the air was humming, and then all of a sudden there was this real deep bass noise and this bright light in the distance that flashed up and lit up the whole woods. It looked like a light when a real big firework explodes for the first few seconds, but it lasted probably a minute before it split up into 3 or 4 other lights and shot back down into the trees. We could see all the lights glowing out in the woods, and then there was this big gust of wind, and the light was gone. Everything smelled like it had just rained, but it never did. We didn't know what to do, but figured we would just wait it out, but nothing else happened. We thought maybe it was a meteor or something, so we left it alone and went back to hanging out. At about 2 in the morning, we decided to turn in, so Jamie and I went into the tent to sleep. But Dan said he was going to sleep by the fire. An hour later, I wake up because Dan is in the tent shaking us, saying there's something big watching the camp. He said it was about 50 feet from the fire, and he thought it might be a bear, but it was standing on 2 legs and bobbling back and forth like it was trying to get a better look at him. While he was talking, we heard a loud scream. I've never heard anything like it before as long as I've been alive. It sounded like a pig being slaughtered, but deeper and so loud it made your ears ring. Next thing I remember, I was hearing 3 or 4 more things come running towards the campsite and the embers from the fire kicking up and landing on the tent. The things or creatures or whatever they were kept running up to the tent and grunting and running back into the woods. Every once in a while, one of them would scream again and pull on one of the tent poles, dragging the whole tent a foot or 2. The tent was collapsing on one side, and we didn't know what else to do. So we just started screaming as loud as we could. Only took a minute and everything was quiet again, so we made a run for the truck as fast as we could and hit the gas. When we were leaving, we saw one of those fuckers in the headlights standing in the road. I told Jamie to gun it, and the thing straightened up and puffed out its chest. It must have been 8 feet tall. Had a dark gray hair all over its body except in the front. The hair in the front was white or yellow around its chest. Its face looked kind of like a dog, but not really. I know what Bigfoot looks like, and this was way different. It didn't even move when we drove at it. We had to swerve around it, or we would have ran it right over. We drove back down the mountain to the highway and parked the truck in a gas company's parking lot. We were going to tell the cops what happened, but we didn't know if we were supposed to be camping there or not. Also, we had been drinking, so we didn't want to get a DUI. So we just waited for the sun to come up. When we drove back up to get our stuff, nothing was there. Everything was gone. No tent, no cooler, nothing. We told some of our friends what happened, and they won't believe us since we were drinking, so we decided that we were just going to forget about it. If you ever want to come and check, I'll take you to that spot and show you where it happened. There's still tracks from where we peeled out and lots of big gashes in the dirt where the tent was and nothing else. I don't know if it had anything to do with the lights that we saw, but it was the weirdest damn thing that ever happened to any of us. And that was no bear.